All right, tonight, the inflation numbers, as we've been saying, are not good. Americans are not better off than they were 4 years ago. The joy in the Harris campaign is now gone. So how does Donald Trump continue to pick up momentum as we head for the finish line? Now, in my opening monologue, I did list, nearly, 6 questions that she has yet to answer. It infuriates me that she can go on the Call Me Daddy podcast, Howard Stern, The View. She can go on Stephen Colbert, Crack a Beer, 60 Minutes, ask one tough question, but then they edit 2 separate answers for one question. And is this what we call journalism in America? Vivek Ramaswamy is with us. I'm glad we got you back, number one. Number two, you've always been really hyper-focused on Republicans' need to lay out a better vision. I think at this point it's more than that. I think Republicans, absolutely, they've got to lay out their economic vision, their vision for the absolute insanity at our border, how we're going to deal with foreign adversaries, how we're going to deal with energy prices and inflation, all of that. And however, I want answers from Kamala Harris. They don't seem to be forthcoming. And maybe I'm dreaming, maybe it's a fantasy, maybe I'm in a surreal world. I would think that the media would demand those answers that they're not demanding. Why am I that naive, having done this for so long?
Well, I wouldn't call you naive, Sean, but I would say I look at it a little bit differently. I don't see us as running against Kamala Harris here, actually. Just like we weren't actually running against Joe Biden. We're not running against a candidate. We are up against a machine. And what we need to do is to get in there and dismantle that machine. That's what Draining the Swamp is actually all about. And I do think that a lot of people are seeing through that smoke screen for what it is. So if you think about Joe Biden's cognitive deficits, and he had them, well, you know what? Those were not a bug, but they were a feature for the people who managed and controlled him. The same thing goes for Kamala Harris's policy deficits. That was actually an advantage for the people who are pulling the strings, the puppet masters who are wielding their puppet. And what we get with Donald Trump is somebody who's actually an executive. The person we elect to run the government is going to be the person who's actually running the government. And that's why a lot of independents and even one-time Democrats are coming along to say, you know what, even if I don't agree with 100% of what Donald Trump has to say, I'd rather have an actual executive who's strong rather than a figurehead and a puppet who's just another wheel in that system. That's what this race is about.
But there are very powerful institutions against President Trump. There is something called the deep state. God only knows what we'll learn from 51 former intel agents only a couple of weeks before this pending election. God only knows what other indictments will be coming down in the days ahead, which I have no doubt are probably going to come, or what lawfare or what a weaponized DOJ is capable of. You have an institution as powerful as the media, and they can't ask, do you still believe in the bill that you co-sponsored, the Green New Deal, $93 trillion? You would eliminate the filibuster to pass it? That we can't get an answer why she would eliminate private health insurance, why she would never say the words radical Islamic terrorism. I think these are kind of basic and fundamental things, and a grave disservice to the country is happening here before our eyes.
Well, no doubt about it. You're seeing the same thing with Tim Walz, who's now the vice presidential candidate. I will say that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, by the way, share one thing in common, Sean. They both got their jobs as vice president because of their race and gender. So if the Democrats learn one thing out of the defeat that's coming for them, let it be that identity politics never works for hiring. But I'll say something deeper about the deep state, which you raised as well, because this is a real issue. We talk a lot in our party and about the Trump presidency, about the mass deportations that are coming, and that's important. If we've had the largest influx of illegal aliens, we've got to have the largest mass deportation in history. But my advice is don't forget about the second mass deportation that we need as well. That's the mass deportation of millions of unelected federal bureaucrats out of the D.C. bureaucracy. I think we can't fall into this trap to say we're going to reform that bureaucracy. Incremental reform doesn't work when it comes to the administrative state, when it comes to the deep state. You need to make deep cuts if you're going to defeat the deep state. And I do think this time around, Donald Trump is more prepared than ever to go the distance, to be able to say that we're not going in to reform the bureaucracy, we're going in to dismantle it, to shut it down. That's how you save a republic. That's how you save this broken system from itself. That's what I'm excited for. In about 25 days, I don't urge complacency on anybody, but I feel really good about things. What I saw on the ground yesterday in Pennsylvania, I joined President Trump for both of his rallies, including in Scranton, Joe Biden's hometown. It's like I've never seen before, the kind of energy that we're seeing, lines of people miles away from the event. We are potentially on the eve of a tidal wave. If people see this through and actually show up, and if you're able to vote early, vote on Election Day, even better. But if we do this, I think we can unite the country and do what Reagan did last in the 80s, Sean. I'm excited for it, but it's going to require everybody to do their part.
Well, the best way to unite the country is to be successful. President Trump says that often. By the way, I see that you have a new promo out for Fox Nation, and you're doing a show on Fox Nation. It might be one of the funniest promos I ever saw, and I promise not to talk too much. Anybody that's hosting a show never promises not to talk too much. That would be a rarity. I'm going to have to check it out on Fox Nation. Congratulations.
I believe in humor, Sean, and let me know what you think. We'll talk soon.
All right, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.